Science isn't one giant subject. It's a family of different disciplines, each asking its own kind of question about the universe. Some study the tiniest particles, some study entire galaxies, and some study your own brain. We're going to zoom through all the major branches, from physics up to psychology, so you can finally see how they all connect. By the end, you'll have the whole map of science laid out in your head. Physics is the science of matter, energy, and how things move. And it operates at every scale, from tiny particles to entire galaxies. Its core idea is that the universe follows universal laws. The same rules that make an apple fall also keep planets in orbit. Isaac Newton captured this with his laws of motion and gravity, and centuries later, Einstein showed those laws bend near the speed of light with his theory of relativity. A famous defining moment is Galileo dropping objects to show they fall at the same rate, regardless of weight, proving gravity treats everything equally. Physics is really the foundation for almost every other science, because chemistry, astronomy, and even biology all obey physical laws underneath. Chemistry studies atoms and molecules, what things are made of, and how they combine or transform into new substances. Its core idea is that everything around you is built from a limited set of elements that bond together in predictable ways, which is why the periodic table is chemistry's most iconic symbol. Dmitri Mendeleev famously arranged the elements by their properties and even predicted ones that hadn't been discovered yet, which turned out to exist exactly as he guessed. A classic example of a chemical reaction is mixing baking soda and vinegar, watching bubbling carbon dioxide gas form right before your eyes. Chemistry sits right in the middle of science, bridging physics on one side and biology on the other, since every living cell runs on chemical reactions. Biology is the study of living things, plants, animals, fungi, and microbes, and everything that makes them alive. Its core idea is cell theory, the discovery that every living organism is built from cells, the tiny building blocks first spotted by Robert Hooke looking through an early microscope. One of biology's most defining discoveries came when James Watson and Francis Crick, using data from Rosalind Franklin, figured out that DNA is shaped like a twisting double helix, the molecule that carries genetic instructions for life. Think of DNA like an instruction manual stored inside almost every cell in your body, telling it how to grow and function. Biology branches into countless subfields like genetics, microbiology, and zoology, but they all trace back to that same idea. Life is built from cells following coded instructions. Astronomy is the study of everything beyond Earth, stars, planets, galaxies, and the universe as a whole. Its core idea is that gravity is the invisible hand shaping the cosmos, pulling gas into stars, holding planets in orbit, and even bending light around massive objects. Galileo Galilei helped launch modern astronomy when he pointed a telescope at the sky and discovered moons orbiting Jupiter, proving Earth wasn't the center of everything. Astronomers today use telescopes far more powerful than his, some even orbiting in space, to peer back billions of years and see galaxies as they looked in the early universe. Astronomy overlaps closely with physics in a subfield called astrophysics, since understanding stars and black holes requires the same universal laws that govern everything else. Geology is the study of the Earth itself, its rocks, layers, and the slow processes that shape mountains, volcanoes, and earthquakes. Its core idea is plate tectonics, the discovery that the ground beneath us is actually made of giant puzzle piece plates that drift slowly over millions of years. Alfred Wegener first proposed this after noticing that the coastlines of Africa and South America fit together almost perfectly, like two puzzle pieces that had once been joined. For decades, scientists doubted him, until later evidence like matching fossils and seafloor spreading confirm the continents really were once connected and are still moving today. Geologists use clues buried in rock layers almost like reading a history book, since each layer tells them what the Earth's surface and climate were like millions of years ago. Ecology studies how living things interact with each other and with their environment, from a single pond to the entire planet. Its core idea is that ecosystems are deeply interconnected webs, where removing even one species can ripple outward and affect many others. A famous real-world example is the reintroduction of wolves to Yellowstone National Park, which reduced overgrazing deer populations and, surprisingly, even helped rivers and forests recover their natural shape. Ecologists often map out food webs, showing who eats whom, to understand how energy flows from sunlight into plants, then into animals, and eventually back into the soil. Unlike some sciences that zoom into tiny details, ecology zooms out, always asking how everything in nature fits together as one connected system. Psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior, why people think, feel, and act the way they do. Its core idea is that behavior isn't random. It has underlying causes, whether biological, emotional, or shaped by past experiences. One of the most famous experiments comes from Ivan Pavlov, who rang a bell every time he fed his dogs, and eventually found the dogs would drool at the sound of the bell alone, revealing how learning can rewire automatic responses. This concept, called classical conditioning, is still used today to explain habits, fears, and even advertising jingles that make you crave a product. Psychology branches into areas like clinical psychology, which helps treat mental health, and cognitive psychology, which studies memory and decision-making. But all of it is grounded in careful observation and experiment, not just guesswork. Meteorology is the study of the atmosphere and weather, the wind, clouds, storms, and temperature changes happening above our heads every day. Its core idea is that differences in air pressure and temperature push air masses around, and that constant movement is what creates wind, rain, and storms. A defining moment for the field was the launch of the first weather satellites in the 1960s, which let scientists watch entire hurricanes swirl from space instead of guessing from scattered ground reports. Today, meteorologists use those satellite images along with computer models to predict storms days in advance, which is why you get warned about a hurricane before it even makes landfall. Meteorology also feeds into climatology, the related science of long-term climate patterns, since understanding today's storm and tomorrow's climate both start with the same atmospheric physics. Neuroscience is the study of the brain and nervous system, exploring how billions of tiny cells called neurons create everything from your thoughts to your ability to move your hand. Its core idea is that neurons communicate using electrical and chemical signals, firing messages across networks fast enough to let you react to a ball flying at your face in a split second. One of the most famous cases in neuroscience history is Phineas Gage, a railroad worker who survived an iron rod piercing his brain in 1848, and whose dramatic personality changes afterward showed scientists that different brain regions control different aspects of who we are. That single accident helped launch the idea of brain localization, the mapping of specific mental functions to specific physical regions of the brain. Modern neuroscience now uses brain scans to watch these regions light up in real time, revealing the biological machinery behind memory, emotion, and even consciousness itself. And that's the grand map of science, from physics zooming into atoms and out to galaxies, all the way to neuroscience decoding the very brain you're using to understand all of this. Every branch asks a different question, but together they weave into one giant story about how the universe and everything in it actually works. If this gave you that satisfying aha moment, subscribe for more deep dives that connect the dots across everything you learned in school.